Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic less known classics. This is episode number 31. I believe it's 14, correct? Or is it 15? It's 3115. Doubleshot number 3009. Alright, we got two quick more books here. First up we have is Deadpool, Wolverine, World War III. That's the name of the miniseries. Written by Joe Kelly. Artwork here by Andy Kubert. Excuse me, Adam Kubert. He does this book. So, this book is basically, looks like a lot of two-page spreads. You see Wolverine. Looks like he's training for something. Also, for some reason, they decided to turn the comic aside in order to read it. Yes. So, we have, looks like Wolverine seeing like a future version of himself where he is hunting when he's part of Weapon X, obviously. And then we cut back to present day with Wolverine in his 80s costume for some reason. Or like it was an explosion and Deadpool is there. It's like, I want my summer. You think, who the heck's he attacking? Yeah, and of course Wolverine's like, Deadpool. Damn. Not my pouches. The guy gets shot at, and of course Wolverine gets shot away. And of course Wolverine, he ends up shooting around Wolverine. And they have to team up together to take out this one guy. And it seems like he kind of dies, but doesn't really die. Yep. So they take care of the guy, and then of course we have Wolverine at a bar. Yeah, look about this Slim's place, this restaurant, which looks abandoned. So then you have Wolverine going to frickin' Russia, where he goes to a restaurant that apparently is ran by a Deadpool fanboy. And then we have these guys coming through the windows, try to kill Wolverine, except they forgot the fact he has a frickin' healing factor. Yeah, another guy. Then we have Wolverine put on a much better costume, the yellow costume. I like this costume better than the brown one. That's my preference. Yeah, I've never liked the brown and yellow costume. I've always seen it looks ugly. It's not my favorite costume. My favorite costume is either the Rid of John Byrne costume, where it has like yellow with yellow stripes, or I like the Jim Lee variant, or the John Cassidy one. I love those ones. And then we have another Patreon side thing where we have this guy Wolverine is looking at who just appears here, and then apparently his name is Wade Wilson III. He ends up stabbing Wolverine in the gut, and he's basically looked like he's putting on like a show. And then move on to issue 2, where it looks like we see like a version of Wade where he's like a tattoo, and then we see look like a mindscape. And then we continue the fight between Wolverine and Deadpool. And then we see this goth girl watching this. Very pretty goth girl. Yep. And slice up basically this Deadpool Wade Wilson III. And we see a guy watching it. And Wolverine comes out perfectly fine. And eventually this Deadpool take off his helmet. Well, he spends a lot of time in the helmet for like two pages. So, why is he wearing the helmet? And eventually they show, oh yeah, he takes the helmet off, he's missing part of his face. I'm like, dude, you have a healing factor. Why aren't you using it? Why aren't you working on it? It's weird. And we have Wolverine get attacked again, and part of his bones are exposed, but don't worry, he's perfectly fine. We have more slicing up here, more battling, more Wolverine facing his past. More page-turning side thing. Wolverine attacking this weird creature with this virus stuff. One we have this really cool moment. We have Wolverine's bones together. He's got his claws out. Yeah, and then he kind of slices up this, and we see his glob just pop out of his back, and he ends up basically slicing each other. It's a very disgusting scene. I think it's supposed to be Wade. Well, kind of. And of course, they learned a bunch of bad guys. I mean, all the hype, you think of a Wolverine book like this, like, and of course they walk through, and of course they just plow through, and that's it. There's not much else this miniseries. The only reason this book exists is because of the Deadpool Wolverine movie. I like the arc in the book. I think the writing is okay. Joker is a good writer, but this is not one of his best work. I think an issue with the book is the turn of the page and the side thing. I'm going to give the book roughly a 8 out of 10. Next up we have is Contest of Chaos, which is a series of annuals released from Marvel from, I think, like last year, I think it was. We have all these characters involved in this book. We have the annuals for Scarlet Witch by Steele, who was writer of the book, who's still writer of the book. Jason Lau does the Iron Man annuals. Also annual for Moon Knight, done by his regular Jim McKay. Fantastic Four, Jack Herman, Spider-Man, Stephen Phillips, Spider-Gwen, Carla Bachito, Venom, done by Lissa Wong, Avengers by Stephen Phillips, X-Men by Phil Alter, and they even have backup stories in here. Chaos Parts backup stories by Stephanie Phillips. Yeah, so the first annual is from the Scarlet Witch, from her ongoing series by Steve Orlando. We have her with Darcy. Darcy was introduced in the comics thanks to the Scarlet Witch book, where she's an employee of hers at her shop. And we see New Sam Orlando. We have this guy there, and of course then we see Agatha Harkness. It looks like this now. Yeah, that's thanks to the Midnight Suns SUN series that basically turned from the old lady to the smoking hot lady. Yeah, and the only reason why Agatha Harkness looks like this now is because of WandaVision. Yep, that's the only reason why. I guess Marvel figured, hey, people like this look for Agatha Harkness. Let's turn from a old lady to a hot lady. Yep, and we have Wanda battling various people, and then we see Agatha in her office, and first it's like, Agatha, you're young. I've been young all along. Yeah, that's all along. Yes, I wonder if that Steve Orlando basically played the fact she has a show called Agatha All Along. So basically, yeah, we have work clothes, and of course they hang out for a bit, and she is convulsing, gets possessed by a demon, and of course they have a little, and then fighting each other. Yeah, and basically it's Agatha gathering allies for this contest. And Agatha switched to a dress, and Wanda to his other outfit, and then we have, like hugging and stuff going on here. Really cool stuff here, and then all about battling Chthon. And then we have the Spider-Man annual, which features, looks like Spider versus Wolverine in this book. Yes, we start off with Rhino charging at Spider-Man. And he's like, Spider-Man? He has no idea where the heck he's going. He gets webbed up. He gets punched in the face while his suit gets damaged. And then, of course, his heart's acting weird. And then eventually gets teleported to another world. Like he's part Isekai. And then we have a demon come out trying to attack Agatha. Nope. Eliminates that, and then we have Spider-Man get wrath of his world, and then Wolverine just comes out of a freaking window. Yeah, just by sheer coincidence, both these books happen to feature Wolverine punching somebody. First Deadpool, now Spider-Man. Yep. And of course, think they're impossible. Nope, they're the real deal. So the city is not real. The location of the city is not. And he steps on, and then comes something out of Indiana Jones. We have this little ball thing of Wolverine get possessed. Yeah, this starts with this thing where people get possessed. The Spider-Man get possessed too, but looks like he gets freed and Logan gets basically taken away. And then we have, look like Jessica Jones. Yes, Jessica Jones. Where he have been taken out basically by front of her, which, yes, he does know about this. You're thinking, wait a minute. I thought currently in the Marvel Universe isn't a secret. When did Jessica Jones figure out he's Spider-Man? This actually happened in New Avengers issue 50. And she was there, and apparently it was real. She had a crush on him when he was high school, and well, it helped him out, but basically no longer dating him. They're not even dating at all. And then we have Wolverine putting on some armor. That leads into an annual, the Iron Man annual, where it simply puts Storm versus Iron Man. Yep. We have Storm here in her outfit that she wears in X-Men Red, taking on Iron Man, which I think this look. I'm trying to remember. I don't think this is the Gary Duggan armor. I'm not sure. So they mentioned Civil War here, AVX, X of Swords, and then of course they end up fighting each other. Of course, and who wins on top? Because and then all of a sudden the Shadow King pops up here. Yes, the Shadow King. Flashback when Aura was basically a thief. Then we have Hellcat here, where they reference the Iron Man Hellcat annual, which is done by the writer of that volume. I think it was Christopher Chamberlain wrote it. It was excellent. And who ends up winning this fight? They have Spider with Jessica Jones in her office, which starts with their backup feature of like investigates like who wins this fight. I think it's Storm. And like they investigate what's going on, and of course you have Spider-Man with Clea. Yes, the beautiful Clea. Which anybody sees Clea like, damn, Doctor Strange, you lucky dog married this beautiful woman. And then we move on to Fantastic Four, where we have the most weirdest verse battle that anybody would ever think of. We have Johnny Blaze versus Johnny Storm. You're like, what? The Battle of the Johnnies. And of course, it's not written by Ryan North. It's written by a complete different writer. For reasons. I'm not sure why. They transfer Hellscape, and of course, they're fighting each other. Who wins this fight? Ghost Rider. Yeah, Johnny goes back where he was, and actually, Johnny Storm wins the fight, I think. Yeah, he wins the fight. He gets brought into this battle. We have to continue the backup feature. We have Clea and Spider-Man trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. So, they're trying their best. Then we have the Moon Knight annual. We have Moon Knight versus a Korean superhero, which I'm not overly familiar with him. And then we have Agatha Harkness acting like she's Elvira is like, greetings, travelers. I am your host, Agatha Harkness. In the contest of chaos, 2 champions were called. On the one hand, the Korean dynamo, the pride of the nation, mission Takagi. They got Moon Knight. Yep, and they fight. Yep. That is literally what this book is. They fight. There's a bunch of hallucinations here. Who ends up the winner of this fight? And it's basically the guy from Tiger Division. Moon Knight goes back at his own. Might get Jim McKay to want anything to do with this. He probably did just because he wanted to. Yeah, by the way, the ending was written by Jim McKay. And then we had to see Clea in the Bermuda Triangle looking for something. And then we see her team, which is currently comprised of Storm, Human Torch, Takagi, and Wolverine, leading to the Spider-Gwen annual where you have Spider-Gwen take on White Fox, who is a Korean superhero. Yep, it's a bit of a mythological thing. You're thinking, wait, why the heck would Spider-Gwen interact with a character from Korea? Because the writers of Marvel really want her to interact more with the 616 and enact her own universe. For reasons. Who ends up winning in a little fight, per se? It's White Fox. And then we continue the backup feature. We have Clea, Jessica Jones, and Spider-Man basically trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And then we go to Venom, and it has the most bizarre one. One of the most bizarre ones. Where we have a fight that has never happened before. These two have never met in comics prior to this annual. That being Venom versus Deadpool. You're like, what? Yeah. We have Deadpool here with Princess, who is a character created by Alyssa Wong, because I think she writes this annual. Yeah. And they have her basically, let's see. They don't really say who. I'm guessing it's probably Eddie in the suit. I'm guessing they'll clarify because they don't change it. Oh, yeah, it doesn't change. So it's not Eddie, it's Dylan. Because the chain's on his wrist. So They fight in an amusement park of all things. Yes, amusement park. And then you have one point you have Deadpool bring out a freaking bazooka to take on Venom. You ever think who wins this fight? Deadpool. Actually, she takes Venom. And then we have like a fight between Agatha and Clea. She takes Venom. And then we have in the X-Men annual, we have two characters who have regularly interact with each other. Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, and Scott Summers. This annual, I believe, came out during the Krakoa era because of the outfit. So, you have Dragon telling, of course, these two are fighting each other. Yes, the beautiful Carol Danvers taking on Cyclops when he's not being a dick. Yep, and they fight all over this town. And who wins this fight? I think it's a draw. And then we have part 7. We have the Avengers showing up here, which is the lamp I believe Jeff McCabe was using at the time, which was Iron Man in a silver suit, Captain Marvel, Thor, Sam Wilson, Captain America, Vision, Black Panther, and Scarlet Witch. And then we go into the Avengers annual, which basically has them take on, well, Agatha. As a finale for this contest of Chaos thing, it's a fun little mini event, and surprising because it's handled just in the annuals, not in the main story. Eventually they would be cured, and what happened to Agatha? She would get to the ocean, and then she's greeted by some kid. Great success. The Darkhold! Yep. The Darkhold. You're like, interesting. Yeah, I don't mind these annual ones per se. At least it's not, basically an event that interrupts the main story for a crossover. At least it's done in a series of annuals, which, yeah, I like this. This is a lot of fun. I give this book roughly 8 and 9 out of 10. I found this book a lot more fun than Deadpool, Wolverine, World War II. Yep. And yeah, that's going to be pretty much a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. That's probably going to be it for tonight. I probably don't have any more videos planned for tonight. If I do, well, that'd be something. But right now, that's it. So, I'll see you probably tomorrow. Bye.